What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've finally got to look at the final Reapers that we need to look at. We've been looking at these over the past couple of weeks since they started being revealed. We've been missing some, frankly. We've not had the full series, but now we absolutely do. I have a personal issue with the fact that we have ADR 01 to 09, and yet for some reason they're not. If you line them up in set order in your binder, for instance, they are all in a row, but instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it goes 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 7, 6, 8, 9. Which I'm going to be honest with you, right? It's not as snappy. But we do have two new ones to take a look at today, so let's start off with ADR05, Creepy Hands. And we will talk about the other Reapers as we go through, as is appropriate. Translations and translated proxies from the lovely folks at DigimonCard.dev. So what we got here is a 5 cost to play normally, 6,000 power Digimon, no level. The Reapers are weird. And while you have a Mother D Reaper in play, this Digimon gains Blocker. And look, the best thing I can tell you about this is that you need blockers. And the fact of the matter is, if we look back through all of the other Reapers that we've seen so far, there ain't no blockers. So this is something which is actually kind of important. Because if you want to play a full Reaper deck, and I'm fairly sure a bunch of you are going to want to play a full Reaper deck, you're going to need to have some blockers in a way that every deck needs to have blockers. No, this isn't a particularly fancy way of doing it, and I'm sorry about that. But the fact of the matter is, you need blockers, and this will give you blockers. Job's a good un. Now, the other new one we need to take a little bit of a look at here is ADR06 Horn Striker. On your turn, while you have a Mother D Reaper in play, this Digimon gains Rush, which is to say it can attack the turn it comes into play. And we got a 7 cost, 7,000 power Digimon. And that's alright. It's basically in line of a level 5. You know, if you gave it a 3 cost to Digivolve from a level 4, you'd be looking at a level 5. But the fact of the matter is, this is Rush. And Rush is good. But it's quite expensive. What we would really love to do is play it for free. And then we'd really take advantage of the Rush. Because, you know, being able to play an attack is fine. But really what we want to be able to do is play for less than 7 memory and attack straight away and then start running through our opponent's security. That would be the ideal situation here. Well, might I remind you about ADR08 Optimizer. When you play or when you're attacking, limited to once per turn, if you control a Mother Reaper with 5 or more Digivolution cards, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and play a Digimon with D-Reaper in its traits with a play cost of 10 or less from among them without paying its memory cost. Oh look, this has a play cost of 10 or less. So again, we're not saying this is always going to happen, but essentially when you attack with Optimizer, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you find one of these, you get to play it straight away. But it's worth pointing out that this has Rush. So you find it, you play it, you take out a security card or a Digimon, and maybe it survives, maybe it doesn't. We can worry about things like that later. The point is, this just keeps going. And I love how much this just keeps going. It makes me, it makes me generally rather happy, to be honest with you. It's what we needed. And I think adding in a blocker and adding in a Digimon with Rush really makes this deck tick. So I think it is, since we've looked at them piecemeal because they were not all revealed at the same time, let's just have a quick run through all of the Reapers. Now we've seen them all, let's run through all of them and see exactly what we've got. So Mother D Reaper is an actual Digitama with 15,000 power. And don't forget, we have had the ruling here. Yes, you can bring Mother D Reaper from the raising area to the battle area without Digivolving. Yes, Mother D Reaper can exist on the battle area. That is lovely. Once per turn, if you don't have another Mother D Reaper in play, you can put a Searcher in play or in your hand to the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Because again, you remember, you need to build Digivolution cards under Mother D Reaper for it to be good. And then on your turn, once per turn, when your Digimon with D-Reaper in its traits would be played from your hand, you can reduce the play cost by 1 for each Digivolution card this Digimon has. So, remember a moment ago I told you how we could use Optimizer, and that would essentially allow us to play this for free? Well, if you've got 7 Digivolution cards under a Mother, and as we're going to see in a moment, one of the cards really wants you to do exactly that, then it actually becomes a 0 cost to play. Now, again, this is a once per turn thing. You cannot use this to play all of your Rush Reapers super quickly and easily and cheaply and all of that. But I am 100% absolutely saying that it is an option. And I think that's redonkulous. Once per turn, admittedly, but once you do, it's crazy. Moving on to the others, we've got Adr09 Searcher, which is the real engine of the deck. This is what really makes it tick. You can have up to 50 copies in your deck. If you don't have an Adr09 Searcher in play, this becomes a 1-cost card. But remember, you've already seen that Mother can put Searcher to the bottom of it as an evolution card. So hopefully you'll keep getting rid of your Searchers, and that will mean you can keep playing them cheaply, which is cool. You can't attack, but you do draw a card when you play, and paying 1 memory to play and draw a card is great. Pendulum Feet, when you play, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you add a D-Reaper and a Searcher to your hand. Bearing in mind that Searcher is a D-Reaper as well, so if you hit 2 of them in the top 3 cards of your deck when playing Pendulum Feet, yes, you absolutely can get both the Searcher if that's what you're into, if that's what you're looking for. That is absolutely an option. Bubbles, as a security card, lets you put a Searcher in your hand or in play as a bottom Digivolution card on your Mother D-Reaper, so it's another way to get them under. And when you play, you can put a Searcher from your hand or in play to the bottom of your Mother D-Reaper as an evolution card. So again, what we're doing here is just building up the evolution cards under Mother, which is the goal. Jerry, during your main phase, you can suspend, reveal 5 cards on the top of your deck, and place a Searcher from them to the bottom of your Mother D-Reaper's Digivolution sources, putting the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. And look, I am not claiming that this is all super easy to pull off, because it isn't. But you do have the skill on Mother, and now you've got the skill on Bubbles, and now you've got the skill on Jerry. There are a few nice things you can do here. Now, Creep Pounds we just looked at, that's the one that gives you blocker, that's cool. Pilates Head, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm going to be honest with you. When you have Mother D-Reaper in play, you can suspend this Digimon to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with power equal to or less than this Digimon's power. But as we're going to see in a moment, you can actually boost up your power very, very nicely in this particular deck. That is something that you can absolutely do. So if you're boosting up your power and then going above what is, it's not great, it's only 3,000, then it becomes really good. Hornstriker's one with Rush, we just looked at that. Optimizer, we said it's got that play skill that lets you just play Digimon for free as long as they're Reapers. Well, yeah. It doesn't get all of them, incidentally. The last 2 we need to look at are actually the only 2 the Digitimer doesn't count. The last 2 we're going to look at are the only 2 that won't count. But all the ones we talked about so far do have a play cost of 10 or less. So they are all absolutely up for grabs, can be played for free. This is really good. Adr09 Gatekeeper is a security card that you can play for free if it comes out as a security. When you play, if you've got a Mother D-Reaper, it's recovery. And incidentally, this is not if you've got 3 or fewer security, or your security can't go higher than 5 with this skill. This is, no matter how much security you've got, you just increase it by 1, which is clearly great. And then on your opponent's turn, when your Mother D-Reaper has 6 Digimon sources or not, all of your opponent's Digimon get security attack -2. So we've got to use all of those super annoying ways to get the Searchers underneath Mother, and that is annoying. But then by doing that, all of your opponent's Digimon get security attack -1. You're going to survive for a lot longer than you would have thought otherwise. And then finally, Reaper, the first one we saw that made no sense. A 20 cost to play 15,000 power Digimon. But when playing this Digivolution card, you may trash the bottom 7 Digivolution cards of your mother and set the play cost to 0. Now, firstly, that means getting 7 evolution cards under mother, which isn't easy. And secondly, you have to trash them all. And I've told you that, for instance, if there's 6 there, Gatekeeper gives your opponent all of them security attack -1, which is pretty good. So there is an argument as to how much you want to get rid of them. That's up to you. This also has Rush. Now, it can't be played for free with Optimizer, and it's very unlikely to be played for free with Mother. So it's not exactly the same as Horn Striker, but I think both of them having Rush is going to give the deck a huge advantage. And at the end of your attack, you may put 2 searches from your trash to the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution card in any order to unsuspend this Digimon. Yep. And you got 15,000 power, and if you're unsuspending multiple times, this is going to add up very, very quickly. I cannot be the only one that is psyched to go and make a Reaper deck. These things look dumb and weird and like they don't work properly, but I love it and I am all in. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.